Are you exhausted from chasing love, waiting for likes, approval, someone else to finally make you feel like you're enough? Well, if you are, then please stay tuned. This video is perfectly designed for you, and I'm so excited to share this with you. I know how this feels because I used to live for other people's approval. I needed validation from relationships, from work, from even strangers that I would pass on the street. And it left me feeling absolutely powerless and completely dependent on seeking and needing that validation. But once I found how to rediscover self love from within, not only did I feel unshakable, but love and opportunities and all the validation started flowing to me effortlessly. In this video, I'll walk you through a 4-step process to shift out of seeking external validation and into real self love. By the end, you'll know exactly how to detach from people's opinions, create unshakable confidence, and unlock the self-love that makes manifesting actually effortless. So if you're ready to stop chasing love and anything else outside of yourself and finally attract it and allow it to come to you effortlessly, let's get started. So first, you need to see the game that you've been playing. Every time you refresh your social media looking for likes, you change yourself so people will approve, and you basically abandon yourself, what your truth is, and you abandon your own needs and your own identity basically for friendship, love. Every time you do these things, and there's endless number of ways that we do this. I could go on, but those are some of the most common ways. Every time you do this, you're giving your power away. This can look and feel a lot like people pleasing, always putting yourself and your needs last, hiding the real you, the real thoughts, your values, your opinions, your needs, all in the hopes that others will love you and like you and accept you and stay in your life and be your friend. Awareness of all of this, again, awareness of the game that you're playing is the first step. Start noticing how you're doing this and when you're chasing love. And ask yourself, am I doing this because this is truly what I want to do? Or because I am seeking friendship, love, attention, validation, basically approval, other people's approval? Or am I doing this because I need their love and acceptance? And if I'm true to myself, I may not be loved, right? If I let my true, authentic self out, does that feel risky? Because that's not going to be accepted. That's not going to be approved of. That's not going to be liked and loved and accepted. Just that awareness alone is powerful enough to start to change your behavior. Now, the next step, after we become aware of how we're playing this game, seeking external approval, the next step is about reprogramming and reframing. Here's the biggest thing that helped me on my journey to more self-love. It was knowing that I didn't have to try to develop self-love. I didn't have to learn self-love. I definitely didn't have to create self-love. When I mistakenly thought that I did have to learn and create and develop self-love, when I thought all of those things, I was completely stuck. I felt like I just don't have that gene. I'm missing that piece, I felt completely stuck. So when I was in that belief system, that mindset where I thought I had to develop it, I had to learn it, I had to learn how to love myself, or I had to create love for myself. No, I was completely stuck. Self-love is the truth of who you already are. It's the truth of who you are already at the core of your being. And when I was learning this, when I learned that I didn't have to go and seek it and create it and develop it and mantra myself into it. I didn't have to do anything. It was already there. It was already present within me. And all I needed to do was shed layers that were wrapped around that self-love, that were basically suppressing it, denying it, pushing it away, hiding it, whatever you want to call it. But it was basically always there. It was just hidden by these layers that were wrapped around it. In other words, the false ideas about myself that were projected onto me that, it was never the truth to begin with. These were ideas that were layered on top of me, the conditioning, the programming. When I learned that all I had to do was shed those layers, that self-love was already there in abundance, just waiting for me to get rid of those false layers, those false ideas. And there was nothing for me to do to develop it, create it, to practice it. No, it was already there. It is your natural state of being. And when you're not telling a false narrative about yourself that blocks that self-love, in other words, some examples are, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I have to hide who I truly am to be loved. All of these are examples of the false layers that are so common in a lot of people. When you stop carrying around these false ideas, all the self-love you could ever want or need is already there, waiting for you to tap into it and just allow it to radiate through your whole being. It's already there. And so now that you've tapped into this infinite reservoir, this is step number 3, by the way. I think I've been doing a bad job at telling you the steps, but we've done step 1, step 2. This is step 3. Now that you've tapped into this infinite reservoir of self-love that already exists within you, the next step and the next practice is all about detachment. And the reason this is the 3rd step and not the 2nd step is because when you start tapping into your self-love more and more, detachment becomes so much easier. If you try to detach before you found this infinite reservoir inside of you, you're going to be it's just going to be harder, okay? So we do this 3rd. This is the 3rd step. And it's much easier if you do it in this order. So you found this new source of validation, a new source of love, this infinite source, an internal infinite source. And so you never need to seek for that validation or love outside yourself ever again. It's not found outside of yourself. So naturally you start to detach from needing it out there. You only thought you needed it out there in the first place because you were cutting off your own supply. You weren't even aware that there was this infinite supply within you. And so you were seeking for it outside of yourself because you didn't know. If you're anything like me, you just didn't know. You weren't taught that. That's how I was. I didn't know at all. But once you tap into this within, you never need to seek for it again externally. And you naturally start to detach from the validation outside of yourself. It almost seems like a joke that you ever needed it or valued it in the first place. It literally becomes like a joke to you. You can't even, imagine how that was ever sustaining to you. And the best part is, the more you detach, the more your self-love grows and compounds even more. The more you find it within, the less you seek it without, the more you'll have access to it within. It's like a self-feeding, self-perpetuating cycle, and in a really good way. So now we're on to step 4. Step 4 finally is embodiment. Self-love isn't just a mindset. It's a state of being. It's the state that you start to act from and speak from and make all of your decisions and reactions from. You're no longer going to be driven from this state of seeking or compromising yourself or abandoning yourself to seek something outside of yourself. You don't need to do that anymore. You are literally setting yourself free and honoring your own truth and your own boundaries and your own self-expression. You are magnificent. You are unique. You are perfect. There is no one else on the planet like you. And it's meant to be that way. It's meant to be that way. And when you start to honor and love yourself in this way, the universe, your universe starts to reflect things back to you in the most magnificent ways. All the things that you are chasing are just naturally added onto you because love is the most powerful force in the universe, and you found this infinite well from within, so you no longer need to chase anything outside of you. You no longer need to abandon yourself with the hopes that someone else will love you, which never works anyway, by the way. You found it all within, and what is a fundamental law of the universe? As within, so without. So this love that you rediscovered within will start to be reflected back to you in all these areas of your life. It is the law. It is how it works. Every aligned work, action, and boundary is proof to yourself, I matter. I am enough. It's the state of being that you operate from now. And when this is your state of being, as within, so without, you start to create things that naturally align and match this love that you've aligned with from within. Everything that was already always yours starts to flow into your reality effortlessly. So let's recap, because again, I did a bad job at telling you 1-2 steps. So the 4 steps here that you want to practice, the 4 powerful steps are: become aware of the game you're playing. Become aware of this validation trap. It feeds itself, just like the positive cycle feeds itself. This validation cycle also feeds itself. So you have to become aware of this game that you're playing. Number 2, reconnect with self-love, this infinite reservoir that is not to be created. It's already there, it's already abundant, and it's already available to you. You just have to peel back the layers that are blocking you from it. Step number 3, detach from this approval addiction from outside of yourself. When you're approving of yourself internally, you don't ever need it outside of yourself ever again. And again, you naturally start to detach from needing it. That's why this is the 3rd step and not the 2nd step. Number 4, you embody this self-love in your state of being. And, this is a 4-step process, but it is a practice, you guys. So I want you to take these steps and practice them, get really good at them. And it's not a quick fix. It's not an overnight snap of the fingers, but it is very powerful and has changed my life, and I have seen it change my clients' lives as well. So if this video helped you, be sure to hit the like button and leave me a comment down below. If you would like some help in doing this, this is exactly what I help my clients do in my one-on-one coaching program. And you can find all the information for that in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.